here's my evidence for why life does begin at conception, all right? There are 10 characteristics that all life exhibits. All life is made up of cells. All life develops according to a genetic code. DNA or RNA. In our case, it's DNA. All life interacts with its environment. All life responds to stimuli. All life metabolizes energy. All life needs water. All life eliminates waste. All life maintains internal equilibrium, for example, body temperature. All life grows, and all life eventually reproduces. Every one of those characteristics begins to develop and begins to happen at the very instant of conception. There's no other life-determining moment after conception at which those things begin. Birth does not begin those things. Birth is just a change of environment. So from conception onward, you have all the scientific definitions of life. Okay? They are all present. Going further, so is this a tissue, the mother's body, or a person? Because we hear all those. Or maybe it's a blood clot or something like that. Well, it's not a tissue, guys. Tissues, this by definition, are an aggregate of similar cells and cell products forming a definite kind of structural material with a specific function in a multicellular organism. Sorry to get too scientific. We'll move on in a minute. But tissues have a very specific biological definition. They constitute organs. Organs are a grouping of tissues into a distinct structure, such as a heart or a kidney. Both of those are found in the embryo from as early as 18 days, a beating heart, for example. All right? And they perform specialized tasks. Organisms are then made up of organs, and they are a form of life composed of mutually interdependent parts that maintain various vital processes. All right? So when we look at the fetus, it is not a tissue, it is not an organ, but it is an organism made up of mutually complementary organs made up of tissues. Interestingly, from the moment of fertilization, you can see the definition. The definition is that the fusion of the gametes produce a new organism, not a tissue. Okay? So this living human organism begins at conception. Now, furthermore, this DNA that we talked about already is human DNA. So we know it's not the mother's body, right? Every cell in your body has your DNA. The second you conceive, that unborn baby has its own unique DNA, separate from the mother's. If you found the two at a crime scene, you would conclude they were two different people. No scientist alive would tell you that those two DNAs came from one person. This is not the mother's body, this is not a tissue. This is a living human being from the moment of conception. Going down, this is what happens at fertilization. Alright guys? The fusion of two gametes produce a new organism. You guys have seen pictures like this. Week 1, those cells will divide and form a blastocyst with about 120 cells. Two different types of cells. So you already see differentiation, some of those characteristics of life. That begins at about the second week to embed in the uterus. You start to see different types of cells and tissues developing already by this time. Okay? At 18 to 21 days, guys, at 18 days the heart is beating. At 21 days already the circulatory system is functioning. And get this, with a blood type separate from the mother's. Once again, not the mother's body. Now, I will show some graphic pictures. Bear with me. I feel like we're all a mature enough audience where we should be able to see these types of things. And I think that I will show a progression as we go through the different stages of embryology here. Here's at 28 days. At this time, you can see the eyes there. The eye, ear, and respiratory systems are all beginning to function in some capacity. Okay? At 42 days, there are brain waves. This is before most abortions ever occur. All right? There are already brain waves. There's a skeleton. The reflexes are present. Different stimuli will cause this baby to respond already at that early date, when most women are barely just beginning to notice that they might be pregnant. All right? At 8 weeks, all body systems are present and functioning in some capacity. Every body system is there at 8 weeks. Just to give you perspective, most abortions happen between 8 and 12 weeks. So most abortions happen after brainwaves, after a heartbeat, after all the body systems are there and functioning. All right? So we keep going on. And I want you to notice here, take a look at this picture of an 8-week-old that was aborted with his hand and his eyes and his face and his legs and his stomach. I saw ultrasounds of my daughters at 6 weeks. Moving, not tissue. Moving from the sound of the ultrasound, trying to escape it. Think about how they try to escape an abortionist's grasp. Okay? Now continue, guys. 9 weeks. Look at that little baby forming in the womb. Look at its little foot after an abortion. At 10 weeks, you can see it continuing to grow. Its hands can grab a dime. You guys, at 11 weeks, the growth continues. I want everybody in this room, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see their children here. Wait, good dad, man. Yeah, but you guys, if it's something that a child should not see, are we okay with tolerating that as a society? I want to ask that question. You need to ask yourself that question before you vote in November. Okay? Going on, guys, here's a 12-week-old baby. Murdered. And you guys, I want, coincidentally, it's making a peace sign. Obviously didn't know what that meant, guys. Asking for peace, right? Something that this amendment would give. And this isn't funny. This is serious. Nearly 60% of abortions happen when all those pictures are there. Okay? Nearly 40% happen when these pictures are there. You see that? Everybody looking at that? Okay. You guys, going on, and there are no more crazy pictures. But I want to ask you something. There are 1 million abortions a year in this country. 16,000 a year in Colorado alone. Can any of you look at those pictures and say, just tissue? Not from science. Okay? And I look forward to hearing that. If you're okay with those pictures, and you think your kids are too, I would encourage you to keep looking. But I would also encourage you guys to vote yes on 62.